morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a look at a bunch of new products that have gone and been revealed over in Japan. And yeah, these are going to be nuts. These are going to be ridiculous. These are going to be crazy popular. And I know sometimes I come on here and say these products are going to be popular, and I'm never lying to you about that. I always mean it. But this time, I mean it a little bit more than I normally mean it. And if I'm saying it, I always mean it. Because we've got a whole bunch of Eevee's merch. Let's start off with this playmat. It's all the Eevees on a playmat. And look, we know the Prismatic Evolutions, or Terrestrial Festival as it is over in Japan, is on the way. And this is the merch for Terrestrial Festival. So obviously that means it's going to be very Eevee heavy. That shouldn't surprise anyone. But I've been telling you guys for a little while now that this is going to be a redonkulous set. And it is, incidentally, going to be a redonkulous set. But it's a redonkulous set because people love the Eevees. So then you bring in all of this merch as well, all these playmats and deck boxes and sleeves and all of these things, and it's gonna get silly popular. People are going to be absolutely loving this. So we've got the playmat featuring all of the Eeveelutions, and then you've got all of them in the middle, but then you've got Eevee playing with all of them, reading with Espeon, riding Vaporeon, cuddled up with Flareon, playing with Yarn with Umbreon. And, I don't know, like, is that cuddling Sylveon? Is he fighting Sylveon? Very good-natured fight, of course. Either way, it's adorable. I expect this to be one of those playmats that sells out basically instantly on the Pokemon Center. It used to be that all the playmats did. They don't at the moment. This one, I think, might. It's retailing for 2,970 yen, which comes out at just a smidge over $19 or about £15. And I'm making no bones about this. I'm ordering this. Obviously, I'm ordering this. We also have a set of sleeves coming along here, which is the same kind of artwork as we see in the middle of the playmat. And these sleeves are just your ordinary everyday run-of-the-mill sleeves. They are retailing for 889 yen. And these sleeves they're never terribly expensive. And that's coming in at $5.75 or £4.60. It's awesome. As is this binder. Yeah, there's no deck box here, although, hold your horses, I will show you a deck box in a minute. Not this line, but I think if you like Eevees, you're going to be happy with a deck box I'll show you in a minute. And with this binder, it's a standard kind of thing. It's your card binder. And it's got that same key art on as the sleeves in the middle of the playmat. It's retailing for 1,980 yen. So not the cheapest thing you're ever going to find, but you're talking just under $13 or just over £10. It's not exactly ridiculous. And it is amazing. And I suppose I should tell you that along with that, there are also some binder collection refills featuring the Eevees that are retailing at 700 yen. And 700 yen, we are talking just about $4.50 or £3.60. I expect this Eevee stuff to be incredibly popular because people tend to be huge fans of the Eevee. But wait, there's more. Because we've got actual Eevee merch. And what we've got here is, let's just start off with the deck box. It's a plush deck box. We've been seeing more and more of these come around lately. And I'm assuming, I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming this is why we don't see an Eeveelutions deck box, because we've got the plush Eevee deck box coming in here instead. It's got ears, it's cuddly despite being a deck box. And again, this is something which I want to pick this up. Obviously, I want to pick this up, but it's another one I think I'm going to have to be quick. I expect this to sell out in, well, not very long. Put it that way. Because it is a plush deck box, it is a little more expensive. It's 1,595 yen. So you're talking just a teensy bit over $10 or £8. I will happily pay £8 for this plush deck box. Look how adorable it is. We have a new frame coming, and it does feel like it's been a while. Like, it felt like there was a while where we were getting frames constantly, and then since then, the frames have slowed up quite a bit. But the good news is we do have a frame coming in here. And what we got with the frame is 1,490 yen. So actually very similar to what we just talked about with the deck box. So here we're talking about $9.70 or about £7.70. But it's a frame with all the Eevees on, and it does have all the Eevees going around it here. You got the Gen 1ers up at the top, and then you've got Leafeon and Glaceon in the middle, Umbreon and Espeon down at the bottom, and then Eevee and Sylveon in the top corner. Sylveon, of course, doesn't have a counterpart, so that's why we see Sylveon paired up with Eevee so much. But it does make me very happy that you've got Gen 1 at the top, and then we've got your Gen 2 Pokemon at the bottom, your Gen 4 Pokemon in the middle. It feels like they've gone for this, and this is lovely. There's also a long box, a long card storage box. It's actually, the line is called Eevee Great Gathering. So you've got an Eevee Great Gathering long storage box to keep all of your cards in. And that one we're talking 660 yen. So you're talking $4.30 or £3.40. And yeah, it's a long box with loads of Eevee artwork on to celebrate. I mean, who doesn't want that? And actually, they're speaking my language here, because we've got a damage counter case. It's a product that doesn't come around all that often. We don't get loads of these, but I kind of pick these up every time we do because they're cool. They're very different to the other products we get. Now, it does have the same basic art as the long box, but obviously kind of monochrome. It's 330 yen. It is $2.10 or £1.70. Yeah, these things are cheap. And then we've got ourselves the, what's it literally called? It's actually the card carrying case, which again is a product we don't get that many of. And these are so good. If you're going around to tournaments with multiple decks, these are absolutely phenomenal. I've got a bunch of these from like back in the Gen 5 era. We don't get these all the time. These are not an every set kind of product, but we are getting one here, and it's 1,650 yen, which comes out at about $10.70 or £8.50. It's cool. And that plus the dice box. I mean, come on. Get both of them together. You are sorted for heading out to tournaments. So that's all the Eevee stuff, but there is a bunch of non-Eevee stuff as well, like this Terapagos deck box. Now this is, they call it a flip deck box, but it's basically a big fancy shiny deck box. We've seen a few of these lately. It's not that cheap as far as deck boxes go. We're talking 2,200 yen. And 2,200 yen, you're talking about $14 or just over £11. But it's so beautiful. And these have been selling out quite quick, these style. I'm not saying it will. There's a very good chance it gets overshadowed by the Eevee stuff. But these are a very cool style of deck box I know a lot of people are loving. We've also got sleeves, but they are the fancier premium gloss sleeves. So they're the slightly higher quality, slightly shinier ones. And here we're talking 990 yen, which is $6.40 or £5.10. But come on, it's Terapagos. What are we going to do? Not have a bunch of shiny stuff? Feels like that would be absolutely missing a trick here. We've then got ourselves sleeves and a deck box for Ogerpon. Now, the sleeves are the same as we saw for the Eevee ones. And would you believe it? This is the first regular deck box I've shown you in this video somehow. And the last I'm going to show you. Bit weird. The deck box comes in, I should say, at 500 yen. The deck boxes are absurdly cheap. And 500 yen, you're talking $3.20 or £2.60. I was cleaning my studio the other day and I put all my deck boxes in a bigger box. I have a lot of Pokemon deck boxes. We've then got some random sleeves. We've got Kitakami Village. These are your standard sleeves. But you'll notice you've got a bunch of Kitakami Pokemon, like the, your Okidogi, Munkidori, Pheasantdipty, Pecharunt, etc. All kind of chilling on there. Your Teal Mask, Ogerpon in the bottom right. Your other and your Walking Wake, and it's basically a bunch of Pokemon from Kitakami, but done as a traditional Japanese stamp style, like the kind you'll still find in train stations all over Japan. These are an absolute must-buy sleeve. I mean, come on, look how cool they are. You know what else is cool? Yeah, Tatsugiri sleeves. Also, I need to give a shout out here, because there's so many little things that we see on these cards. But, it's Tatsugiri and somebody stepping over him carrying a skateboard, but it's actually Rescue Board. Just little things like that on these cards. Some people aren't going to notice, some people aren't going to care, and some people like me are going to go, hey, it's a rescue board, that's really cool. Usual sleeve price and all of that, but I just love when they do stuff like this and they put those little nods in and they put the items from the cards into the card artwork. It just makes me happy. We've then got a rubber playmat featuring the trainers of Blueberry Academy, and we got ourselves Lacey and Crispin and Drayton, and, you know, the one who's actually in the set. That's Amaris, of course, who does have a new card in the set. There is a new Amaris in the set. Here, you're talking the same price as the Eevee playmat, but now you've got all those trainers, and each of them gets one Pokemon, and I just think that's lovely. It's a very cool playmat. Again, probably going to end up being overshadowed by the Eevee mat. Doesn't make it any less cool. We've also got a playmat featuring future and ancient Pokemon. Same price as before, and this is what I'm worried about here, right? Because the Eevee playmat is cool. The Trainers one I just showed you is cool. But this has like that main key art of the Paradox Pokemon, both future and ancient, on one playmat. I want this playmat. I can't buy free playmats. I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do about this. We then have a lovely little binder featuring the hidden treasures of Area Zero. So we've got Blueberry Academy on the back, but then we've got your Kitakami and all on the front, and it's just rather lovely, honestly. It's a cool binder. It's coming in at the same price as the Eevee one I showed you earlier. It's been so long since we had two binders in one drop like this, but I think a lot of people are going to love it. And then we've got a Card Binder Pro Pikachu, which is not cheap. This one's coming in at 5,500 yen, which is coming in somewhere in the region of about $36 or £28. This is your big fancy binder, which is going to keep your collection all nice and all of that. It is not cheap like the other binders, but it is actually a much more high quality binder. And you've just got Pikachu and all the energy symbols on there. But for those of you keeping track, I can't see a fairy energy symbol on here. It's early in the morning, maybe I'm not seeing it. Either way, that's a little bit fancy. So there we go! Huge drop of new products today over in Japan that are going to be extremely popular. But I've told you all about it now. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these things you're going to be after. Tell me how much of this you want to come over to the West. Tell me if you're going to be looking to import any of this. Let me know all of this and more in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.